Straight out the boot room to Wembley, our second home. We come to conquer, no, we never walk alone. We dominate, the cream of the crop, drawing all our strength from the roar of the cock. It's all for one and one for all. Pass a move, we're talking total football. Here we go again, Roy's red machine. Liverpool, the greatest team the world has ever seen.
Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Big game on Sunday for Liverpool, FA Cup 4th round. We are playing Championship side Plymouth Argyle. They welcome us to home park for what should be a great occasion. To discuss it, I'm joined by Aaron from Argyle Life. So Aaron, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate your time.
No worries. No worries. As you say, it's a big game for you guys, not for us. If I'm being brutally honest, we have much bigger games in Millwall and Hull coming up, which are much more important to us. This is huge for you. If you want that quadruple, you're gonna have to get through us first.
Well, that's it. You know, you've showed. I mean, I know the league hasn't gone how you wanted it to this season, but you showed in the last round that you can do a job. You know, going to Brentford, getting the win over a team who were very, very good at home. You know, that must have been a bit of a shock for you, if anything.
Incredibly, we are one of, if not the worst teams away from home in Europe, and Brentford are one of, if not the best, most informed teams at home. And when the team sheet came out on that Saturday, Sunday even, because it was Sunday against Brentford, and I just remember being in the pub with mates and just being like, do you know what? Let's just enjoy today, because there's no way we're winning this. We'd rested a few, we rotated a few. We had a caretaker manager, and his assistant is our current captain who's out injured, and we didn't expect that. So to go to Brentford and win, incredible. And like we don't get many days as Argyle fans to celebrate supporting this club, but that was one of them. That was a really great day to be a Plymouth Argyle fan.
Yeah, everything seemed to sort of be against you from the way it go, didn't it, really? And like you say, you pulled it off the bag. So fantastic result for you. As I say, the league season for you hasn't gone great. Obviously, started the season with Wayne Rooney in charge, which is an appointment probably most people had some raised eyebrows about, to say the least. Like what was the feeling amongst like Plymouth fans when he got appointed? Did you feel that it was just an appointment based on his name?
Yeah, like long and short of it, yes. But we've got a lot of faith, or had a lot of faith, shall we say, in the board that got us all the way back up from League Two, all the way back to the Championship after 13 years away, after being incredibly badly run, after nearly losing the club through administration. We were minutes away from that back in 2009-10. So to get all the way back to the Championship, we had so much trust and faith in the board, and for them to pull what is a publicity stunt. They'll say it isn't. They'll say that he spoke well and whatever, and sold them a vision. And sure, he may have, and we some of us might have to believe that he actually did. But yeah, from the get go, there was a lot of anger as to just not understanding why anybody would appoint him. Like, it went so well for Birmingham that it took him from playoffs to relegation. Like, it just made no sense. But then it gets to a point where you just have to sort of stop moaning and just get behind him. And there were periods in which Wayne Rooney's Plymouth Argyle trademark actually looked like it was going to be a real thing. It actually looked positive. There were signs. We played top of the table. Sunderland at home, beat them 3-2. We got a 3-3 draw against Middlesbrough. I can't remember who else, but there was actually the Middlesbrough draw came way after that. But there was a stint between two of the international breaks where we look like world beaters. Like, genuinely, we look like we look impressive here. Like, he's going to turn this round. He's actually going to prove everyone wrong, and he didn't. So yeah. But we had that moment where we thought we were gonna be laughing at the Championship instead of the other way around. But you've said twice that the season's not gone to plan for us. It hasn't in some respects, but in others, when you look at we have one of the lowest budgets in the league. We have one of the weakest squads. We've sold the best goalkeeper outside the Premier League for £2 million in the summer. We've just sold Morgan Whittaker for £6 million, which some would argue is a great bargain. Others would argue it's too cheap. And basically every decent talent we ever get, we sell, and that's because we have to. We just don't have the budget to keep them, and that's the model of the club. So, arguably January we've weakened the squad a lot rather than strengthened it. So, but we're in a much more positive place now than what we were under Wayne Rooney. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, obviously last season you managed to stay up in the Championship. I think I think Steven Schumacher was the manager at the time.
No, Shuey had already gone. So Shuey left.
How was he gone?
He left us for Stoke City and the riches and the massive club that is Stoke, and we're definitely still not bitter about that. Absolutely not. And yeah, he did well there. He got let go of his job there. So
yeah.
Sometimes the grass isn't always greener, but yeah, he took us into the season. He took us up from League One with 101 points. We won League One with a mid-table budget, so that goes to show how small our budget is in the Championship still. So, it's to stay up was incredible. But yeah, we managed to stay up on the skin of our teeth through again the same caretaker manager that kept us in the game up at Brentford and helped us win that one. So there have been calls to give him the job, but he doesn't.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
So coming back to tomorrow's game, then, obviously, as I say, we go to Home Park. I think the last time we went there, I can't remember exactly what year it was, but I know you gave us a good game then. What kind of atmosphere can Liverpool and Arne Slot expect?
Yeah, 2017. You guys haven't done much since then, so I can imagine you think about coming down to Plymouth an awful lot. We remember the games against you really well. So obviously up at your place, the 0-0 draw to bring you back to Home Park, which obviously FA Cup replays don't exist anymore. So
No.
Unfortunately we can't turn you round. And actually, I say unfortunately, I'm delighted that we can't, because I'd rather just get this game done and dusted. Like we don't neither of us need another trip up to Anfield. There was a bit of I was a bit disappointed when we drew you, because we had those games, like I said, back in 2017 where we took you so close, and obviously Lucas scored the winner, and they are great memories, and we showed ourselves to be a real fighting spirit back then, and there is potential that we ruined that tomorrow, to be honest, even though we're arguably a much better team now. But yeah, the Home Park, when it gets going, it's an absolute bastion of noise. Like, forget your famous Anfield atmosphere. When Home Park gets going, the only problem is Home Park does not get going as often as it should. So, but when we're up and running, you're in for a great atmosphere. But if you stick one behind us early doors and then, go 2 or 3 up within 10, 15 minutes, I can imagine it will be absolutely silent. But it's a shame, really.
Like, it's a good point about, like, that kind of stadium, and I think a lot of the lower league stadiums, because everything is so up close and personal, even if it hasn't got the sort of capacity of a big Premier League stadium, it feels a lot worse because the fans are right on top of you. So yeah, I think that's
bigger capacity than Vicarage Road, though. I will get that in there. People, we're not a tiny little tin pot stadium that. Obviously we're not as big as Anfield, absolutely, but it's not as small as you think.
No. But no, I think that's one thing we've got to do, especially, is not let the crowd get involved. Because I mean, you mentioned the famous Anfield atmosphere there. We know more than anybody what getting the crowd behind you can do to the team. So that's the one thing I think we've got to try and avoid.
That was a huge part of the game up at your place, because obviously it was a game against Plymouth in which nobody really wants to go to Anfield. Most of your season ticket holders and stuff would have sold your tickets to day trippers and whatever. Just people that wanted to go to Anfield and expected a big result. And the fact that our away end that day was, out singing Anfield, was a huge part of the reason why we brought you back to Home Park, because you're naturally going to get those atmospheres against smaller sides at home, right? Like, I'm sure you've had it before. You played Accrington recently, didn't you? Or was that away?
Yeah.
like I can imagine the atmosphere there was dead, but rightfully so. Like people that don't normally go, that just want the opportunity to tick off, seeing Liverpool or going to Anfield or whatever, the atmosphere is going to be a lot less. So we hopefully we can use that to our advantage on Sunday tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Looking, I mean, obviously we don't know what the Liverpool side's going to be at the moment. Is there anybody that you as a Plymouth fan are just looking forward to seeing getting out on the pitch at home park?
Yeah, there's obviously like your squad's absolutely stacked, and I don't need to tell you that. Like your third choice would absolutely walk the Championship. Would definitely most probably finish like mid-table Premier League side. Let's be honest, right? If you're being completely real, so there are so many threats that I am not looking forward to seeing. The one player who I feel like is definitely going to play, and I am worried about, is Connor Bradley. We played him up at Wembley for the Papa John's final when he was at Bolton, and he spanked us 4-0. He was exceptional that day. I am worried about him. There's a rogue one that I think will definitely play. I've seen like so many predicted lineups. That seems to be a thing that Liverpool fans seem to love doing. There are so many wild cards in there. Some predicting that Nunes will actually play. Some predicting that Jota will start through the middle and Diaz off the left. And I can't remember who else. But there are people like Endo and Quansah and Gomez that are definitely going to play. And it's just an endless list of worry, isn't it? It's just basically just wait and see, and then just sit in a low block for 90 minutes and just see what we can do on the break. Is basically all we can ask for, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I suppose that is what your best bet against us. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities we could do. We could completely, go with a completely changed side. We've got the Merseyside derby on Wednesday, so
yeah, exactly. That's another
to,
thing, right? Obviously, off the back of your 4-0 win on Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever
Thursday.
when we beat Tottenham. The one thing I will say is there is absolutely no way we are any worse than that Tottenham side, because they were dreadful. Like the absolutely zero attacking threat. We've had games this season where we've not even had a shot. We went up to Leeds, Ellen Road, and Rooney decided on a back six, which was novel. It was interesting. It worked for like 10 minutes, but beyond that, not really. But I'm expecting us to have more attacking threat than that Tottenham team did, minimum. We literally cannot be any worse, can we? We literally can't.
So, no, you really can't.
So I'm hoping that we at least we nick one. I'm happy.
Yeah. You mentioned Connor Bradley there. Obviously, like you said, you played him when he was at Bolton. I know he got an awful lot of rave reviews when he was at Bolton. I think he got their player of the season. I don't know how much you've seen of him in a Liverpool shirt, but can you see that he's improved in the times that you have seen since his time at Bolton?
Yeah, well, I don't know about improved because obviously I don't tend to watch Liverpool that much. You seem to be on TV pretty much every week, so I do when I can. But that's the joy of being a top 6 fan, right? Is that you never, or a Leeds fan, that you're just constantly on TV. So it's a bit easier to follow. But yeah, he looks like an incredible talent. I'm not sure he's quite ready to take that Trent mantle yet. If Trent goes to Real, but yeah, he's just an incredible threat, isn't he? He is. We were linked with him as a potential signing in the summer on loan. I would have done anything to get Connor Bradley in a wing back position in the Championship, because that would have just been an absolute joke, to be honest. And there are players in your squad that you've kept hold of, that like Tyler Morton, that could do a job in the Championship, but will happily knock about your third string team and make it make Premier League opposition look a bit silly when they come on. So yeah, Conor Bradley, I don't know, like I said, I've not really kept an eye on him that much, but he's a player that going forward, and as he ages and progresses, will definitely become the starting fullback. But whether he will step into the shoes of Trent is a completely different ask, isn't it? Because
yeah,
it's exceptional. But
yeah, that's the big question at the minute. But so just before we wrap up, then as a Plymouth fan, trying to be as optimistic as possible. What's your hope for the game?
See, this is the thing. I'm of everybody on our pod, I'm the most optimistic, I would say, usually. But I'm bottom of the predictions league, so don't take this seriously. I'm going. I've said it on every other pod, so I'm going to have to say it on this one. I'm going for a 1-0 Plymouth Argyle win. And I don't know why. I don't know how. And to be honest, I don't really want that because knowing our luck will beat you, get national news and headlines and whatever, have a brilliant party celebrating on the Barbican straight afterwards, but then we'll go and draw Stoke or Cardiff away in the next round, which nobody wants.
No.
Nobody wants that. We do not need that distraction. But I'm sticking to it. 1-0. Not going to happen. You will batter us, most probably. You'll put your foot down, and it'll be 4 or 5. But for now, right now, until the lineups come out, I'm staying incredibly optimistic and saying 1-0 Plymouth Argyle. Maxi Talavirov, our new Ukrainian centre back with a big bullet header at the back post. Yeah, that will do.
I like it. I admire the optimism. I really do. Yeah. Well, Aaron, thank you very much for taking the time.
Before we go, what's your score prediction then? If you admire my optimism, is it 4, 5, 6?
You know, like I'm always a bit of a pessimist just because of past experiences. So it's like I think we'll win, but I don't think it's going to be like a battering like it was against Spurs. I was very confident going into that one just because it's Spurs. But to be honest with you, I'd take a 1-2-0, 2-1. I'd take anything. But yeah, I think
I just really hope it's not a boring game. I hope that it's like end to end, full on attack, or we sit in on a low block and just frustrate you because I find that hilarious. So just one of those two things would be great.
I'll go 3-1. I think he's probably will nick a goal at some point. It might be a consolation or something, but we've got a bit of a tendency to concede a silly goal every now and again. So tomorrow might be that day, But
hopefully.
Like you say, hopefully it's a great game, a great occasion. Just hope it great game and the best team win.
We will.
Yeah. We will. Well, as I say, Adam, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. And best of luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and you. Good luck with the quadruple. It's something that I'll never be able to say about Argyle. So
you never know. One day you might get a big tycoon come in and take over, and then you might employ Wayne Rooney again. Right. Cheers, mate. Thank you.